In this episode, we're going to be constructing a gold farm with splashes, and we're going to be creating an insane wither skeleton farm. Hey guys, my name is Deathtail and welcome to the AutoCraft series. AutoCraft is a server where we automate everything you could do in vanilla Minecraft, along with having some fun along the way. If you're interested in watching this series and you want to see more, why don't you look at the playlist? There is a link to it down below. We're currently 11 episodes into our season, so make sure you go and watch that. And hey, if you're interested in crafting your way to success like I am, why don't you subscribe to the channel? So yeah, to kick things off with today's episode, we're going to be working on the gold farm. Now, we've been needing, well, the captains of industry have been needing a gold farm for a while. There already is one on the server, but we wanted to do something a little bit different. However, we had to change our plans because the one we had planned was way too big. We needed too many resources, and yeah, so we had to scale down a bit. So rather than building the farm we wanted, we're building a smaller gold farm that runs slightly differently. So we're going to make use of the obsidian I've been collecting. So I'll probably put all 135 stacks in the shulker boxes and we'll use it for the project. And yeah, as you can tell, we're going to be creating a portal gold farm, which should be a lot of fun. I haven't done one of these before, and yeah, since it's going to be fairly small, it shouldn't take us all that long. So I'm thinking we should use the area next to the raid farm because that's just a big ocean. There's no one out that way. It's quite segregated away from everyone else. It's quite remote. So I'll go out there, meet up with splashes, and we can start building this thing.
So Death, we're gonna build ourselves a gold farm here. Just a little thing, and well, there's your lovely looking raid farm right over there. And you know, this place seems pretty far away from everything. I think this should make a nice spot to build the gold farm.
Oh yes, it's so remote. It's going to be perfect.
Yeah, we have a nice little island of shulker boxes here. You know, I never thought we'd be using a shulker box monster as a raft.
It's effective, I have to admit, and it looks really nice.
Yeah, but well, should we just hop into hyperspeed build mode then?
Yeah, let's get cracking on with this build. I'm really looking forward to it. Alright, so that only took about an hour to build. We had to do some little bug fixing because the zombie piglins kept on walking forward and trampling the, turtle legs. So we had to put in this wall of trapdoors. But yeah, let's get some hair. Let's actually go to a piece of solid land before I do this, because if I do that in the water, it will make a lot of noise on my keyboard, which we don't want. So yeah, like, looking at it, it looks fairly small, but it took a while. That's a lot of obsidian right now. It's like 5,000 obsidian blocks. We actually built the port was one block too big, so we had to do this. Now, since replay mode isn't a thing for 1.16 yet, well, it isn't publicly available, I couldn't record the time lapse. So if you want to see the time lapse stuff, make sure you go and watch Splash's episode. I'll leave a link to that down below, because she had some good third-person time lapse for this stuff. But yeah, in terms of stuff, none of us have done any AFK sessions of this thing, so I'm really sure about drops or anything like that. These outer ones, so this outer collection system and the other one, is in case the zombie piglins decide to go the complete opposite direction from the turtle legs. Most of the time they don't, so that storage is overkill. But yeah, it's been producing a little bit of stuff. We need to do a proper AFK session to test how good this thing is. But yeah, it's quite nice. I love how we started off with this little shulker island right here. It's quite funny. One thing though, I am kind of confused about shulker boxes because we never kept track of who was who with them, which is annoying to say the least. So I'll need to work out which ones is mine, pick up those ones because we're finished here, and we can move on with today's video. So, in terms of the wither skeleton farm we're going to be working on. Oh, hello. I have actually designed one. Well, I built off of someone else's design and made some modifications. So, let's head into a testing world and we can take a look at this thing. So this is the wither skeleton farm we're going to be building. Obviously we're using the wither roses, which is why we built the wither rose farm last time. Now, this design is based off of the wither skeleton farm by Works. I'll leave a link to that down below because that's a really good farm design. Now, I added a few things to it because I wasn't happy with the rates. So you can only get 40 skulls per hour. Now, obviously that farm wasn't built in Soul Sand Valley like this one is, so the rates of this area will, affect things. Or will it? No, I don't think it will because of the way spawning stuff works. No, wait, no, it should. Completely ignore me. But yeah, this farm that I have, it's faster than Works one. His produces 40 skulls per hour, mine's produces 120. So yeah, I think this is a good farm. So yeah, let's take a look at this thing. So if I press B, I am using one of the bounding box mods. It's a fabric mod. It shows the bounding boxes of, nether fortresses. So basically what I did was I came into a Soul Sand Valley looking for a nether fortress, found one, obviously, and I looked for one of these crossroads. Now, there's one right here, one here, and one here, so I could have done a three-way farm, but I didn't know what the conditions would be like on AutoCraft, because the nether fortress we found last time in the Soul Sand Valley isn't actually acceptable for this project. So yeah, we're gonna have to go looking for another one, unfortunately. So yeah, I based this around one of these crossroads, which is represented by this red bounding box. So yeah, you have a higher chance of wither skeletons spawning in this section. Plus the fact that we're using roller roses means that only wither skeletons will spawn here. I placed 5 blocks additional on the outside to increase the chances of pack spawning happening. I threw a bunch of wither roses on there as well to only include wither skeletons in those spawns. We were able to fit 3 spawning platforms. 1, 2, 3. We might be able to compact this and make more, possibly, but I never felt the need for that. Besides, we're kind of limited by the piglin guys in the middle. Now, with Razeworks design, let's get rid of this bounding box. Basically, you drop them down and you kill them in the nether, which limits the amount of wither skeletons you can actually have, because mob caps and things. So I thought, why don't we send these guys to the overworld, send them all the way up to our AFK spot in the nether. So go through one portal down here, rise up in the overworld, go through another portal up high, end up at the AFK spot, and then I could kill them fairly easily AFK using an auto clicker. So we came up with this system. So building off of the Razeworks collection system for the, wither skeletons, we basically drop them down between each of the layers. Now, I've done a lot of testing with this thing and they never stand around or anything like that. So they fall down here, and then there's another piglin through there, so then they run. It takes them a few seconds to go from being aggroed with that guy to that one, so they'll run through here. And let me just set the time real quick. And we'll end up through this portal. Now this portal was built at Y68. It doesn't really matter as long as it's like 100 or so blocks below build limit, because that thing needs to be high up. But yeah, keep this low on the ground. Basically imagine the height at which the bedrock ceiling is in the nether, so 120 blocks. Make sure you keep this below that. So around sea level would be best. And your other portal you want at least above where the netherrock ceiling would be. So what we have is basically the wither skeletons end up here. They are aggroed by this guy, so they run towards the iron golem. They go up this water chute, so all the way up. Let's just go into spectator mode, get rid of the F3 menu right now. So all the way up here, go back into creative mode, and this portal is, the first portal block is at Y180. So yeah, that's a good thing. They'll go up here, go along this, and then they'll fall down this thing slowly, because what you need to bear in mind is wither skeletons have a 20-second cooldown when going through portals. So yeah, this whole loop should take about 20 seconds. They fall down here, the water stream pushes them, along with being aggroed at that guy, so they end up going through this portal right here, and into this system where they're funneled. They're aggroed by that guy, so they fall down here into this collection chamber, where we can then use a looting 3 sword, and yeah, we get 120 skulls per hour. It can go as high as 130 though, so like 2 stacks of skulls. That's really not bad. This collection system is not good enough. It's no wonder good enough for something of this scale, so obviously we'll need to come up with something a little more bulky. Anyways, I've rambled on for long enough with this farm. Why don't we head on to the AutoCraft server, gather the materials we need, and we can get started with this thing. Oh, and we need to find a suitable nether fortress. Alright, so I've been doing a little bit of math and resource calculations, and we're going to need a lot of stuff for this farm. So obviously we're going to need a lot of wither roses. We have 3 double chests of wither roses from AFKing at the wither rose farm. I would show you guys all the stuff over there, but it's really loud, and I'd rather avoid the weather, so we're not going to go over there. We're going to need like 30 stacks of glass, a bunch of netherrack, which we have. We've got to clear out an area. We're going to need to break bedrock. A bunch of wood for trapdoors. We're going to need to get the zombie piglins in there. Some obsidian for the portals. Some packed ice. Walls, hoppers, chests, hopper minecarts. There's a lot of stuff we're going to need. A hell of a lot. So I'm just going to get to work collecting that. We're going to fill up several shulker boxes. I have reclaimed the shulker boxes I took to the gold farm project. We'll fill these bad boys up with the materials, and then we can go searching for another fortress. Alright, so I've collected most of the resources we need, if not all of them, which is fantastic. Now, I'm in basically an empty world, a creative world of the seed we're using for AutoCraft, just so that, I can find a fortress in a reasonable amount of time that is in a suitable location. So, the fortress we found last time was at around 1,000, negative 1,000. This is at 400, negative 1,200. So yeah, it's fairly close by. It's actually within the same Soul Sand Valley as the original one, which is great. So yeah, what we need to do is we'll need to spawn proof most of this fortress, get rid of that blaze spawner there, unfortunately. Saying that, no, we shouldn't need to spawn proof much since we'll be up high AFKing, so we'll need to spawn proof to sit out here. I'll need to do some tests. I'll do some tests off camera and things like that. Also, we need to get rid of this section right here and replace it with 3 netherrack spawning things, and then we can start building the farm. But yeah, this should be fun. So I'm just going to get to work and I'll bring us back and we'll do little progress updates. The next time you see me, we should have the initial platforms in place and we should, start to get the farm coming together. Alright, so I've started work in the nether fortress here. I put up a glass wall because of blazes and things. And I've already started to condition this area. Now, I am up to 3 deaths. I died as soon as I arrived. So basically what happened is, I wasn't recording at the time, unfortunately, but I got swarmed by 10 blazes and a bunch of wither skeletons. And so the blaze spawner was here, and I landed down here and there was just lots of them. And within 2 seconds I was dead. I died here, all my items splattered everywhere. I kept everything apart from 1 shulker box of wither roses. So I lost a shulker box of wither roses and a shovel. So I went and bought a new shovel, but we lost a shulker box of wither roses, which is unfortunate. Now I have all my items up there in that section, and I just pop up and down when we need to get some more stuff. But yeah, this project is coming along quite nicely. So I'm just putting in the first platform right now. We need to get rid of all the nether brick because we can't place wither roses on that, unfortunately. So yeah, this farm is quite horrible to look at. So this is 1 layer. The next layer will be here. And then there'll be another layer a few blocks below this. I think I need to double check my measurements because this doesn't seem right. Or maybe it doesn't, I'm just confused. Yeah, it's been a day since I worked on this, so yeah. Yeah, I should have marked this down a little bit more thoroughly. But yeah, we're making really good progress on this thing. Another thing I want to do is I'm actually going to go to the raid farm and collect some totems because I really don't want to die again. Alright, so totems, we have a lot of totems. I'm just going to take one of these shulker boxes and I'm going to start using it. Yeah, I've got lots of junk on me as well. Also, I love the fact that we can see the gold farm from here. It looks fantastic. Alright, I've been working away on this thing. So we have each of the 3 levels in place. We haven't placed the wither roses. That's going to be the last thing we do. And then the farm will be online. Because if we place them now, I can't go into the farm and fix things. And yeah, that will cause some issues. So we have the central areas in place where the piglins will be stored to attract the wither skeletons. Now, the main problem we have is normal piglins don't spawn naturally in Soul Sand Valleys. So we're going to need to take quite a bit of time to get them over here. They might spawn in the basalt deltas, maybe, possibly, I'm not sure, probably not. I've got no idea, but yeah, it's going to take a while to get those guys in place. But we won't be doing that now, because what I want to do is, obviously, wither skeletons can still spawn here, and if we do it now, they'll start falling down here and then going through this system. I don't want them all gathering down here and then just waiting around. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the overworld and set up the system there that will take them from this level up to above the, bedrock ceiling, where we will also set up the AFK platform. Now, I don't know whether we should also break bedrock, because obviously I've been flying like through the nether to get here, which takes quite a bit of time. So maybe breaking bedrock would be the faster method, but if we just go up, I can't see what the bedrock pattern's like, so it might take us a little bit of time to do this. Plus, I don't exactly have a lot of TNT, so yeah, this could take quite a bit of time. So, let me go into the overworld, build the system there to get the withers up, or the wither skeleton, sorry, up high, and then we can build the FK platform up there as well. Alright, so the system in the overworld is now in place. Fun fact, we are almost 10,000 blocks from spawn. 10,000 by 3,000, or almost there anyways. So yeah, we are far away. I got the subspace bubble advancement for doing this, for going through the portal down there. And I'm in spectator mode because it's easier to view this thing. But yeah, we've made really good progress. So, next steps for us, we need to go and build the AFK platform. The AFK platform is easy enough. I need to redesign the collection system, because the collection system we had is nowhere near fast enough. So I'm thinking a bunch of hopper minecarts and I can find space inside them blocks. And that should work nicely. I think I'm going to reference, I think Nembon did it for one of his old wither skeleton designs. Wither skeleton farm design, so I'm going to go and look at his collection system there, because we're going to use something very similar. Then what we need to do is put the piglins in place, cover those spawn platforms and wither roses, and we can get started with actually farming this thing. But yeah, I'm loving this project so far. It's coming together so nicely. Alright, so this portal should be centered directly above where the portal is down there, which means the piglins will be standing almost in this position down there. Okay, right, so if this works, when I go through this I should be at the top of the contraption and the overworld. I'll need to go and test the portal at the bottom as well to make sure everything still links up. Yes, it works. Okay, that's a good sign. And let's go back through, and this should take us back to the top of the roof. Perfect, excellent. Alright, that's a really good sign. Alright, so I've been working on the collection system. It's coming together quite nicely, but I can't really move forward with it anymore, because if I do, then I'm going to need a lot of items for filtering and things. But yeah, let me get some building blocks real quick, and we'll take a look at this thing in more detail. So let's quickly pop on up here. Alright, let's get a bit higher. Okay, so this system right here basically contains a lot of hopper minecarts. So let's go into spectator mode, F3 and N, if you're wondering, and we go in here. So as you can see, we have 4 hopper minecarts pushed against an end rod. At the bottom, we dropped in some gravel on top, and then we've got 2 more hopper minecarts on top like this. Then we've got some hoppers feeding in, because the wither skeletons will fall on this block, where I will then kill them, and the items will splatter everywhere, and so all of them will be picked up. Now this system should be more than fast enough to deal with the sheer amount of items we have. Now what happens is these items are then filtered through fairly quickly into 4 droppers. Now I need to put a cobweb in here for this to work properly. So what will happen is they'll all be dispensed using these circuits. Right here, these circuits are fairly basic. They'll be dispensed onto a nice path where they're then bounced around using slime blocks. I didn't want to do that right now because I want to collect enough resources to set up all the filters, because obviously we're going to need like 41 of each material, so bones, coal, skulls, that sort of thing. Since this farm only produces wither skeletons, we don't need that much storage, which is quite nice. But you know what, I think we'll put in a decent amount so that we can keep a lot of stuff in like an overflow thing. So yeah, that's that. So what we can do now is we can get the piglins in place, and we can also get the wither roses done. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. Oh, I need to block up these holes as well. I completely forgot to do that, because we're going to have a platform up here, and then we'll have a ladder going down into the main storage room. But yeah, we're almost finished with this project now. Alright, so we have these guys in place. It took a long time. I just emptied my inventory because it's so much junk from digging tunnels and things, and I just got rid of the rail line we had coming here. But yeah, we have these guys in place. There's one up top that I had to take from another area of the nether because we don't have the bedrock ceiling broken, and then these guys which I got from nearby. Oh, it's so annoying. I've also just had a ghast blow this area up, so we need to put like a glass ceiling on top of this house. But the problem is I'm out of glass. I was about to say gas. I'm out of glass right now, so yeah, I used it all in this thing, so we'll do that at a later time. Anyways, what we can do now is we can place all the wither roses and then this farm will be fully operational. The only limiting factor will be our storage, which we will deal with in time. So, oh look, there you go. You can see a little demonstration of this system. This guy should... Oh no, he's on me. He's on me. I've also gained 1 skull during this time. I haven't really been killing the wither skeletons, but during the building of this farm I've got 1 skull. But yeah, why don't I place this stuff down? It's going to take me quite a bit of time to cover all 3 platforms. I might need to go to the end to get some more because obviously we lost 1 shulker box of this stuff. And then we should be able to do a test. Obviously we will need to do some spawn proofing around here, but I need to actually get this thing done first and then I'll probably do that stuff in between episodes. Alright, so I finished placing the wither roses a short time ago, and as you can see a few wither skeletons have made it through the system, which proves that this thing works in the server, which is quite good. However, something kind of happened. I died again. Yeah, again I died, right? So what happened was I was placing the wither roses on the first platform. A gas blew a hole in the glass wall where there was like 6 blazes went outside, so they all shot me. And then a few other skeletons came and jumped me as well. So yeah, I died. And it was the one time I didn't have a totem handy, because I cleared my inventory just before we started because I was holding lots of wither roses. So yeah, that was a fun experience. The wither in particular that was there when I died picked up all my armor and then walked through the portal and ended up right here. So I had to go and get my bow, and yeah, that was an interesting experience. Anyways, so the rates for this thing currently aren't good, and there's a good reason for that. So if we press F3 right now, let's see. Okay, so monsters 176. Yikes. Okay, right, that's not good. So what we have, based on that number, is let's keep the F3 menu open. And if we go down here, yeah, look at that. All this area here is still within, you know, that AFK position up there. Now, we could raise it, but then that can cause some issues, so we're not going to bother doing that. So what we're going to have to do instead is basically just span this entire area with buttons, which is going to take a lot of time, and I will probably die again if I'm not too careful. But yeah, this thing is working. Also, right after I ended the last cup, I got a 2nd skull from this thing, which is quite nice. But yeah, why don't we kill the guys that are already up here real quick. So let's just do that. Boop. Kill these guys, see if we get anything from them. And yeah, that's a problem with the XP orb right there. I might devise a different holding system for that. Anyways, let's pop one down real quick. Any skulls? No. Oh well. Alright, so I guess I'm going to go and spawn proof some stuff, do some more grinding, see if we can get all the materials we need, and then... There's a lot more of them coming in now. Then we can actually get this thing finished. Alright, so when I left you guys last time, I did a little check using one of the client-side mods I have installed, and we had 27,000 spawning spaces, well, 27,500 spawning spaces that could be used to spawn a mob from our AFK spot way up here. So I've spent the last little while spawn proofing a lot of them. So instead of it being 27,000, we're now down to 23,500 spawning spaces. So I've eliminated quite a few of them. But yeah, we should be able to use this farm fully now. The only problem we have is since we're sending the wither skeletons through an nether portal into the overworld, if anyone else in the server's online, which Zem is currently online, those mobs will despawn immediately upon getting into the overworld. So I can only use this when the server is inactive, which for me is early in the day, so anywhere between 10 and 12 AM, which is fine. And the fact that this produces 120 skulls per hour means that, yeah, it's perfectly worth it. But I'm really happy with this stuff. So what I'm thinking is, even though this is based, the initial farm concept is based on the one by Ray's works, I have added my own part to it, which makes it insanely efficient. So I've got to do a tutorial on the entire system, along with referencing this stuff in the description. That tutorial will come out in the next few days, either the day after this video releases or the day following that. But yeah, we've had an insanely productive episode today. We've got this thing done. We've had 2 deaths, but yeah, it's been entirely worth it. Anyways, if you've enjoyed this stuff, make sure to go and watch the rest of the series playlist. It's linked below. And subscribe if you enjoy watching this kind of technical Minecraft content, because I am a technical player at heart, and I hope you guys are as well. I'd like to thank you all for watching this episode of the AutoCraft so far. Make sure you go and watch everyone else on the server. On the left hand screen right now, there are 2 videos, one that YouTube wants you to watch and one that I think you should watch. Make sure you go and watch them, and remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hopefully you will enjoy the videos.